infrastructure in Montgomery County, it's also a hot debate, particularly with the expansion of the I-495 and the I-270, impacting areas like Gaithersburg and App County, particularly for economic development. Do you see those projects as leveraging economic development in Montgomery County? Do you support the expansion? Do you think it could have been done differently? And if so, what do you think about the impact that these projects have on public transportation?
I think it's a I think a lot of times people see it as one or the other. They see it as, oh, we're going to expand, add lanes, we're going to do this. But honestly, it has to be together. You really have to focus on public transportation. Like me personally, I think the biggest answer for me is public transportation. We need to expand it. Right now we had an infrastructure bill. We're going to have access to more funds. So I want to be part of that conversation to make sure that those funds are used in a way that's definitely gonna impact my community in a positive way. For me, obviously in my district, District 4, that's not something that's going to really, impact my constituents, because most of them are not going towards Gaithersburg. They're not traveling up, 270. But I know, obviously 495, if they work in Washington, it's going to be an issue. But, I'm more concerned and it also has a lot to do with the affordable housing. A lot of times people want to be close to the metro but they can't afford to. But if we have a better public transportation system, they can live wherever they want because they're going to have access to it. And people will be able to live in Montgomery County. And that's going to expand the tax revenue that we have for our county. And we really have to focus on keeping people here in the county because a lot of people work in the county here, but they don't live here. But I think for me, public transportation is the key. Bus rapid transit. Making sure that we have bus service that goes, further out. And even looking at, it's a long-term project, but even looking at expanding metro. Making it go further north. Germantown, the population in that area is booming. We just looked at the census. The population is growing like crazy in, Germantown, Gaithersburg, Clarksburg. It's growing, and we really have to look ahead, and honestly, just invest in that, and make sure that we need to get people off the roads. I'm also a big proponent of the environment. And I think people right now, if you're going to sit on a bus and sit in traffic for the same amount of time as you are in a car, people are going to take their car, But if you have a bus system that's on a dedicated lane that'll get you there in a quarter of the time, you're probably going to take that, And we see that in all the metropolitan regions, the big cities. I just went to Europe. Nobody walks in Europe. Nobody drives in Europe. I would walk 2 miles in Europe because it's very walkable. It's very walkable. And I was just blown away with the fact that I didn't take an Uber like the entire time I was there because everything felt safe, but that's something where if we want to take cars off the road, we have to make the areas walkable. We have to make them accessible. Wheaton is a bicycle and pedestrian priority area. We're getting money from the state government, for these programs to put in bike lanes, to try to reduce, speed of cars coming by. But I think we're going to have to take a really hard look, with this money, this infrastructure bill, to see how we're going to best spend this money.